I want to do today's video based on the assumptions that I've made in the thumbnail and walk you through the possibilities of an early retirement if that's what you're thinking. My name is William Hutchison. My wife and I own the two companies in the thumbnail that you see at the beginning of the video. Two things. This video, I'm not going to go into in depth in the numbers. I'm just going to kind of scratch the surface, and you can plug in the amounts that are relative to your situation. The second thing I'm going to do is throw out the numbers that the so-called financial experts say you need to have a decent retirement. They're talking in some cases, $1 million, $1.5 million, $2 million. That's over the top retirement, and it relates to maybe 1/8 of 1% of the people in the United States that are retiring now. Many are retiring on Social Security and small pensions, and will never have $1 million or more, seven figures in assets. I am not a financial expert, but I'm pretty good with numbers, and I know that two is always more than one. We're going to start off in this example. Again, you plug in your own numbers, but with as little as $250 equity, you can have yourself a great life in Colombia. Step one is you've cashed out, you've sold your home, you have $250 in equity in cash in your hand, and you're ready to make the move. Step two is you're going to come to Colombia, and you're going to take half of that, $125,000, and you're going to buy yourself something that's suitable. As an example, at $125,000, you can buy yourself a really nice condo in the best barrio, 3-bedroom, in some cases 4-bedroom. At least 2 bathrooms, again, in some cases 3, 800 to 900 square feet, secure, a pool, in some cases a jacuzzi and a gym. Just a really nice place to live. What that does is it eliminates your monthly rental or mortgage payment, and it brings your total monthly expenses, as I said in a video maybe a couple months ago now, down to $450 a month. That is your cost for food for two, your services, and your administration or condo fee that you have to pay monthly when you live in that environment. Put on another 100 for medical health coverage for two people. It should be less than that, but let's call it $550 a month. That is your living expenses now. I'm seeing numbers from the US that $550 will maybe in some cases cover your services for a month. I mean, the prices that are drifting down to me here in Colombia are unbelievable. And I know that I have skeptics that question what my expenses are here, but I can guarantee you that every number I've thrown out is 100% accurate. In some of the older videos, you'll find that the expenses are not accurate. And the reason for that now is that the peso has strengthened over the last year about 20%. So converting to pesos from US dollars, you get less. So it does cost a little more in US dollars. The third step is we're going to take, and now we're just talking about the cash. You've used half of your money for a beautiful condo. You might even have a view of the mountains. There's lots for sale here. and with some patience, you can check almost all the boxes for somewhere that you would want to live. We're going to take 60,000 of the money that you have now in cash of the 125,000. We're going to bring 60,000 to Colombia. Why are we going to do that? Because right now, a 1-year certificate pays 14%. The banks here are solid. Why are they solid? Because they don't lend. So they have no write-off. They play the game. The exchange rates sometimes are 8 or 10%. If you're at an ATM, you just reject that rate. And if it's Dababienda, one of the banks here, they'll give you a much better rate the second time. But I think in many cases, the banks here are more solid than they are in America. The reason for 60 is that's what the government guarantees. Now at 14%, that pays $8,400 a year. The first year, obviously, you have no income and you have no interest income from the CD. So you're going to have to use some of your savings in the United States to live. I arbitrarily have chosen $1,000 a month. You have the $450 that you're committed for, plus the health payment. You're at $550. With discretionary spending, $450 is a lot for discretionary spending. Breakfast for two. You can have a breakfast in a Colombian country restaurant, and I guarantee the portion is so large that you won't need lunch. But breakfast here for two people, easily, you get a nice country breakfast for $5 for two. You can double that for lunch and then double it again for a nice meal in a better restaurant, short of alcohol drinks. If you're going to have wine and drinks, then obviously it's going to be more than 80,000 for two people. All of this, except for the first year, you're not touching principal. So you leave 65,000 in the US, that's probably going to get you, I don't know right now, maybe 3%. So you've got 8,400 here on your 60,000 at 14. It's not going to stay at 14, there's no question about that. But it's going to stay much higher than it is in North America. The rates there are forecast to come down, so the deposit rates will come down too. But I've used 3%. That gives you 2,000 on your 65,000 that you've left there. You've got 8,400 here, a total of 10,400. That gives you 700 a month of your 1,000. So you may have to subsidize a couple hundred a month. You're not going to be running to Thailand or off to Europe every 3 months. But the climate here is perfect. The lifestyle is fantastic. I think in most cases, once you got here, you would not want to be leaving very often. If we look at it after 3 years, where are you? The condominium that you paid $125 for is going to appreciate at least 5%. Last year, accommodation here, condos, townhouses, freestanding homes, fincas, appreciated 13%. So I think 5% over the next 3 years, a year, annually, is a pretty conservative number. So you're going to have a condo that's worth around 150,000, and carefully, you haven't touched your principal. And if once the pension kicks in, you're golden. You're going to have a beautiful life, a condo paid for, 125 to 150 in the bank, whether it's here or in the United States. You can always repatriate it, but if it were me, I think I'd leave the 60 here, guaranteed by the government at a rate that's probably going to end up at least double what you would get for a similar deposit in the United States. That's just an example. I had to assume some things. You can plug in your own numbers and see where you are. Obviously, with more equity, you're in a much better position. But if you need some confirmation of things, let me know. And I'll do the best I can to help you out. That's it for today. William Hutchison, Armenia Columbia Realty for Expats, and Salento Columbia Realty signing off. I live in paradise, and you can too.